All right, I'm going to wait a little bit just in case to see if somebody's actually going to tune in. I'm going to fix my hair. Oh, wow, this is naughty. Ah! I literally came home from running my errands, got my microwave supper made quick, finished the, oh, I forgot to post that too. Posted the last entry for Krillin's Week for Fan Art Friday on Just Saying, and popped on here because I wanted to do this like an hour earlier than I am. But yeah, I've been driving my mom's Blazer for the last, since Thanksgiving, and it needs more work. So I was told to check the oil, even though my dad was supposed to do that before I took it to Springfield a little over a month ago, not quite 2 months ago. He said it was fine. Yeah, there's like less than maybe, I don't even know, there's a third of the dipstick covered in oil. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like at least half. So yeah, that's kind of bad. Granted, I could be a lot wrong. I missed car maintenance day. The only day of driver's ed I missed, only day of that entire semester of school that I missed was car maintenance day. And like 16 years later, it's still biting me in the butt. So, all right, I'm going to go a little bit longer here and see if anybody actually tunes in. Plus, I literally just got done eating my supper and I had no water with me when I was running errands. So my mouth is dry. I'm probably going to go into that water a lot. So, okay. Ooh. We also had a major temperature drop in the last, I don't know, 24, 48 hours. So like it's cool and like I'm in jeans today. So it's like cool and damp and yeah, there's probably some allergy stuff going on. Woo! All right, so blah, 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 blah. We have hit the 2-minute marker. It doesn't say anyways that anybody is, hold on, new whole potential messages. I don't know what this is. Let's get rid of this. Well, anyway, wait to see. I don't know if it tells you if anybody's tuned in or not, but anyways, I kind of wanted to do for this one a little bit shorter version of what I did for the last video. Little less info on me, kind of more basing on just like the dream of mine and why I want to do it and why I feel like I'm actually a pretty good candidate for it. Cause like it's just kind of inspired by, I've just had a lot of things coming up lately with well, some of it's lately, some of it's been like the last, I think it was May I really started going for the thing. It's like since my birthday, which was 2 months and what's the date today? 4 days ago. So somewhere in that span of time. 3 months and 4 days ago. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not June. So anyways, my name is Kara. I go by here on YouTube, on this page, as well as on Twitter as Saiyana Brief. Not to have a pun, but brief description, download, whatever of that. Basically, she is a character that I made up a good 17-ish years ago when I first got into Dragon Ball. It's actually the first picture I drew. It's not that great. It looks way too much like Bulma. Where is the picture? Where is it? Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this. Oh, where is it? Well, it's my YouTube profile picture, and it's probably going to end up becoming, thank goodness, this is bugging me. It's probably going to end up becoming it's my face. It's my YouTube channel page profile picture thingamabobber now, and it's also my Twitter picture, and it's probably, goodness gracious, where is it? Going to become, I don't know, they like change the top like your featured photos on Facebook. It used to be you could have, oh, that's great, it's not here. That's fantastic. Great, I don't know where it went. Well, anyways, I shall look for that later. I really, yeah, it was supposed to be for everything else. Well, that's not fun. Especially because the original picture I drew somehow got lost at my sister's house. Like, I think something in her living room ate it. which she does have 3 cats and a dog, so I wouldn't be surprised. Well, anyways, it looks like my YouTube picture and my Twitter picture. So anyway, she's an original character I made up. Like I said, when I first got into Dragon Ball way back when. The idea is actually that she is Trunks' daughter, Vegeta and Bulma's granddaughter. She's recently made a major comeback in the past couple months, as well as her brother. I've done a lot more character development with them. I've given them a mom, who's not Mai. Sorry, guys, but it's not Mai because they can't look like Mai because they never have. As well as like the other new characters in the show and stuff like that. So ultimately, my like ultimate dream would be to actually have these characters become part of the actual Dragon Ball universe, which would be really awesome. Like Akira Toriyama could totally have some of the characters, like the younger siblings, and that I basically really just need to have somewhat control over Saiyana and kind of another character because that leads into her. So, but yeah, otherwise, so I kind of like to say like Saiyana is sort of, to me personally, besides this character that I made up, she's kind of like my how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce for her this is what happens when I don't prepare stage presence. It's like if I'm having a down day or anything like that, I kind of tap into Saiyana and like, hey, you can do this. Like you're a quarter Saiyan, you're awesome. You're the, daughter of Trunks, you're the granddaughter of Vegeta, you're the princess of all Saiyans, you can do anything. And it usually like 99.5% of the time, it helps a lot and it makes me feel better. So like that's kind of my Sasha Fierce to Beyonce is Saiyana Brief to Kara. Karen Brinkmeyer, because I'm actually going to post this and take Funimation in it as well. So that's a little. Oh, and then of course too, she's my online alias for Facebook and not for Facebook, for YouTube and Twitter. And actually, if you want to find me on Facebook, you can find me under that too. But if I haven't talked to you before, like multiple times, and no, you're not a creeper, I'm not going to add you because I've gotten some people that I thought were creepers and they're creepers. So, anyways, there's a little bit of Saiyana there. What else? So, okay, the dream. So, like I said, ultimately the dream is to get those characters and some of the scripts and screenplays that I've written. Like, I'm writing a saga with these guys. I have like a mini little filler saga thing. I have a full-blown saga. And I actually have kind of like I'm picturing it as like a made-for-TV special or like a little movie kind of thing. Something that like, it's sort of canon, but it would be more of actually something that wouldn't take place in the actual timeline of the series, but would be like a filler for like skipping years kind of a thing. I'm sure there's movies that do that. Well, like we have some of the movies with Goten and Trunks as kids. So we know it's either Fusion F, I've always been, or Fusion Reborn. I've been confused where that's supposed to fall in the timeline because Vegeta's dead, but Goku's dead, and it doesn't quite make sense. But it would be something like that. Like that's something either leading into Boo or post Boo or during Boo, since Vegeta's dead. I don't know. But yeah, I've written stuff. So like I said, that would be like the ultimate dream would be to get that stuff part of it. Otherwise, pretty much the main dream, the one that I'm going to, the one that just seems a lot more obtainable, is to work at Funimation Studios in Flower Mound, Texas. It's actually kind of been a dream since I was, well, when I got into anime as an early teenager, like beginning of high school years. I kind of got into it a little later. But oddly enough, I was like the anime fanatic of my high school. Granted, my high school had like 200 to 300 kids in it, but I was like the one kid who knew what anime was and was like hardcore into it. Which was really weird. Somebody else had a smoky. It's bugging me. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. I actually have pretty much everything lined up. I have somebody financing my move. I have a very awesome friend who has been willing to pay for that as long as I pay it forward someday to somebody else, which I definitely will more than plan on doing, as well as possibly paying them back when I'm able to. So the move is financed. I've actually have several apartment places I've looked at, not personally, but like I've seen them online. They look halfway decent. I like them, stuff like that. They're affordable, already down in the general Texas Flower Mound area of Funimation. Um, I actually could have another job because it turns out I found out today looking at products. I work at a Michael's craft store and I knew our headquarters was in Texas. Our headquarters is actually in Irving, Texas. That is where all of our products that are Michael's brand come out of is Irving, Texas, where they hold KamehamehaCon. So yeah, there's definitely should be Michael stores in Texas I could also transfer to work at. So literally the only thing that's holding me back right now is getting the full-time or even potentially second part-time job, but full-time is definitely preferred job to move down there right now. And dude, if scrubbing toilets gets me into Funimation, I am determined to do it. I have really nothing here holding me back. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't even have a pet that lives with me. So like I literally just have to like throw my shit in a truck and move it, my stuff, whichever you want to say. I mean, yeah, I have family and friends here, but I, of course, will see them when I come home to visit. I will talk to them online. Most of my friends actually, like, I have a small group of friends in town, but everybody else is like at least an hour away. And a lot of them I only see once or twice, a few times a year, anyways. So moving isn't really going to make a big difference with that. And of course, the local friends, I'll see them when I'm home because it's my home. Um, Actually, the people that live back home, I don't see them very darn often. I actually live an hour away from where I grew up, um, so yeah, that's the element. Like I said, if scrubbing toilets gets me in the door, it gets me in the door because I mean, I'm 32 years old. I have gone to college twice, three times if you want to count the associate's degree. Like I graduated from high school that fall. I went to the local community college, got my associate's degree, transferred to a four-year university, became the first in my family. My direct line, I have a cousin that's older than me, so she kind of beat me. But I am the first in my line to have a 4-year degree. I am actually one of the first to even go to a university style college. I'm the first to ever do it without living in a dorm next to my older cousin, who did it while living in a dorm. So yeah. And then so I graduated with that degree, which is an English degree, right when the recession was starting. It was, yeah, craptacular. I actually worked for a newspaper for a year and a half, and they actually let me go right before Christmas, right before I graduated because economic cutbacks. I was the last hired, so I was the first to be let go. I was the one that they really, for being the only reporter, somehow they didn't really need me. I don't get how that one works, but yeah, for there, I usually found my own stories. I reported on those stories. I wrote on those stories. I would edit my work. They would also edit it before it went to print because a few times stuff got messed up and it wasn't at all what I had actually said and the sentences didn't even make any sense. But in general, a lot of the times I found my own stories. I reported on them. I wrote them. I edited them. And I did all the same with my photography as well. I have been doing photography. I've been taking photos since I got my first camera. I was like 8, because I was always borrowing somebody else's camera. So yeah, I take a lot of pictures. I actually have a Facebook page for my photography, but I really let it go and I don't really update it a whole ton anymore. I still take pictures of everything, but since I got this thing 18 months ago, I pretty much just use the smartphone a lot of the times now. And yeah, for the past 12 years, I've been part of this sport called Balagarth, which, just to make it short and easy, is medieval foam fighting medieval foam fighting. So you're basically running around and beating each other with foam weapons and stuff like that. And we wear garb. It is insanely dorky sounding. It is insanely nerdy, but it is a lot of fun and it's way more fun and a lot cooler than it sounds in the general description. I could do like probably a good 30-minute to an hour long video just talking about that. But anyways, I've been part of that, which is how I know half my friends and why I only see them a couple times a year. I go camping several times a year, sleep in a tent, take pictures of my friends while they beat each other up with foam weapons during the day, and we hang out at night. But yeah, so I've been doing photography for that since I got into it getting close to 12 and a half years ago. And yeah, you go to an event, you take several thousand pictures and you have to come home and edit them. It's like, oh dear God. And you do that for 12 years, it gets really tiring. Like, I still love it. It just gets to be really draining, and, like, it can be the day of the event, and, like, I will still have and there's day events too, not just the weekend-long ones, and I will have people ask me, like, "Oh, did you get really good pictures?" And it's like, I wanna be more than just the girl with the camera, so I'm trying to finally be more than just the girl with the camera, so but, yeah, I've been doing photography since I was, like, 8, so, like, 24 years, holy crap. I've been writing actually, I kind of took a bit of a hiatus in my 20s because my 20s were just a really crappy time. A lot of life happened. A lot of life happened to detract me from that. I actually got more of a social life, so it also kind of put it on the back burner. But in general, I have actually been writing in general, like stories and whatever basically comes to my mind since before I could actually form words. There's a picture where I'm like 18 months to maybe 2.5 years old, and there's crayons and coloring books and all this stuff on the table. And I noticed one time looking at it, it's like I have a pencil in my hand and just a piece of paper in front of me. And like I asked my mom, was like, so was I like drawing or something? She's like, it actually looked like you were trying to write. So pretty much I've literally been doing it since I've, been able to hold a pencil in my hand. I did my first I also did like flip book style books when I was too little to like, write out sentences and stuff out yet, like preschool days. So pretty much, yeah, it's something I've done all my life. It's something that since thank God that part of me came back, I do still partially feel like it's the reason why I'm here on earth. Like I'm meant to do this. So actually part of like my dream job working at Funimation would eventually be writing or editing, doing something with the scripts and the screenplays and that. And if I happen to do some voicing, that'd be kind of cool too. Don't really have my mind set on that though. But yeah, so I guess this is kind of a good segue since I already kind of explained some of that with my background and whatnot. Um, so Sean Schimmel did a interview with Geekdom 101, and well, it's actually two-part video, two-parter, but the first part dropped yesterday, and I saw it, and oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. I still really don't have words to like describe how like powerful it was for me. I had been having a really hard week. Like, again, I work retail, I work at a craft store. So, like, people be nice to retail workers. We are people too. Like, I've had a lot of people that I would say hi to them. They wouldn't even say hi to me, they wouldn't say a word. Um, a lot of just really not pleasant customers. A lot of it had been the rude, and honestly, I think the rudeness can deteriorate me more than like really grumpy customers who will like yell at like I've been spit on, I've had stuff thrown at me, I've been coughed on, but I don't think that was intentional. But I've been intentionally spit on. I had somebody spit on me once when I told them that their coupon hadn't started yet. She spit on me and walked away before I could offer, but I would override it and do it for her anyways. So yeah. Um yeah, retail is yeah, and sometimes this is literally like again, I live alone. I haven't gotten to see any of my friends. Oh dear gosh. I haven't seen any of my local friends at all this month, and we're in July 20th. I haven't been able to get to a practice yet this month, so I haven't seen any of them. Actually, I take it back. One of them came through work the other day. He didn't come through my line, but I kind of got to say like at least a hi to him. But yeah, like I live alone. I live an hour to 30 minutes away from any of my family. So basically, besides my coworkers, since I haven't gotten to see any of my local friends or even my longer distant, my friends that live farther away in the past month, yeah, I've basically seen my coworkers and my customers at work. That's pretty much I've seen my mom a few times. Okay, I've seen family for the fourth. I take that back. So I've seen my family a few times. I've seen my coworkers, and I have seen customers. So yeah, you should really be nice to your retail workers because, sometimes you might be some of the only people we're talking to all day. Even if it's just a hi, did you find anything all right? Okay, do you have any coupons? Here's your total. Are you in a rewards program? Would you like to sign up? That spiel. So anyways, reeling it back in. Yeah, Sean Schimmel's interview with Geekdom, it was really cool because one thing I think is awesome because I found out too, I don't know if Sonny Strait did voice acting before Funimation. I don't really know a lot of his background or anything, which I'd really like to know his because he also is like a really good artist. So I'm very curious. And I'm also curious too how he discovered these different voices because some of the characters he voices, man, I would have never guessed. He sort of sounds like Krillin to me, but some of the other characters, I wouldn't pick it out unless I knew it. And honestly, Krillin, same thing. So yeah, Sunny Straight, I am coming after you to find your story too, because I want to know it. It's interesting. But yeah, he had posted something not too long ago that this year's 20 years since he's been working at Funimation, and I know how old he is. So he was actually a year older than I am right now. When actually he would have been like a year from now would be where I'm at in life for what he was. I'm like 21 years younger than him. Yeah, 21 years younger than him. So yeah. Anyway, so he's been working at Funimation for like 20 years this year. And Sean Schimmel was saying, I almost feel weird just calling him Sean. He said in his interview that, you know, he's been voicing Goku for like 20 years now as well. So he's been hitting that mark. And Goku is really the first voice he's ever done. And interestingly enough, he didn't audition. There we go. For Goku. You don't interview for an audition thing like that. He actually auditioned for different characters. He actually auditioned for Yamcha. Can you imagine him being Yamcha? Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But luckily, Chris Sabat was like, "You're Goku," and he became Goku, and yay. But like hearing, actually, he never really said exactly how he got involved with Funimation. He said like how he got into doing like the voices and how that kind of got started, but the whole how it clicked with Funimation was not actually discussed. And I'm gonna have to like bug him about that because that's the part I want to know. Like I've applied. What else can I do besides take them and everything and bug them and make a video about myself? Um, but yeah, it was really cool because like I found out like I have a lot in common with Sean Schimmel. I mean, we're born in different decades. He's like 18 years older than me. So, you know, actually it was interesting though, because he's talking about watching Pinky and the Brain when he was in college. And I'm like, I grew up on that show. I was like 10 when Animaniacs came out. I was totally into that. But like, yeah, just a decent amount of things in common. He's from Iowa. I'm from Illinois. He does weird, goofy noises and stuff all throughout growing up. I've done that. I've gotten lectured for doing that. I've gotten lectured like my dad. Hopefully he's given up now. But like in my 20s, even in my late teens, he's would be like, you need to stop being so excited about things. You need to stop doing this. You need to grow up and act your age. And I'm like, I'm just being me, you know? It's like, sorry if we can't all be, you know, stuck up prudes. Like, yeah, you know, I've done, you know, weird little sounds and weird little voices and stuff like that. I don't really know if any of them are good enough for voiceover stuff. That's why it's like, that's the farther out there dream. Not quite as far as, you know, my characters becoming part of the actual series, but not like Funimation is closer and more attainable, I feel like, than the voice actor. And then that's more obtainable than the stuff becoming part of the actual series. But you never know. I mean, you know, hey, this kid from, you know, crap, I forgot what town he said. I kind of want to say Waterloo, but I don't feel like that was right. But it was this kid from, you know, middle of nowhere, most likely Iowa, because half of Iowa is the middle of nowhere. Like Illinois is southern Illinois, and you have central Illinois, and you have Chicago. And yeah, like I'm from northwestern Illinois. Nobody freaking knows that northwestern Illinois is the northwestern corner of Illinois. Like that never comes to people's minds. I don't know why, but there's multiple parts of Illinois. It's not just southern Illinois and central and Chicago. There's this whole other part up to the north. But anyways, yeah, you know, he's probably grew up around cornfields and all this stuff about as much as I have. I mean, my dad's a farmer. You can't go up to. I literally had a cornfield like 10 feet from my window of my bedroom as a kid. There was cows out in it sometimes that weren't supposed to be there. But yeah, you know, like I have that stuff in common with him, and look at how far he's come. You know, he went to college to study music to you know learn how to play. Well, he already knew how to play, but to go into playing the French horn, which I thought was interesting too, because he said like how much the musical background is helpful and everything. And I have a musical background too. I started playing alto sax in 5th grade. I played that all the way through. Actually, my first year out of high school. All of the all the alto saxophones were in my class. So when we all graduated, there were nobody new came in for pep band. and I was the only saxophone that stayed local, or the only alto saxophone person that stayed local. All my classmates went away to school right away. The other two, um, again, I'm from a really small town, a really small school. So yeah, my high school band teacher actually asked me to come back and play pep band. So we had an alto saxophone. So I technically played for an extra year of high school, which was cool because I got into games for free. That was neat. Um, I did theater in high school. Um, I've been singing pretty much my entire life. It's something that I kind of keep to myself because my sister made fun of it a lot when I was younger. But at the same time, the choir teacher kept trying to get me to join choir from like at least junior high to at least the first couple years of high school before she finally gave up. She caught me singing at my locker one time after school. I had my Discman and I had no idea that there was anybody around, and she caught me and she really tried to get me to join for years. So apparently there's got to be something somewhat good in there. But it's actually I'm kind of teaching myself to do some different voices right now too, is some of the different, because I sing alto. And actually what I did for theater and stuff was a lot of times for practice, for singing practice, I got stuck sitting next to like one of the lead females, so they had all these solos and stuff. So they're really good singers. The one actually has gone on to do professional operatic singing. So yeah. And I would kind of try to mimic them and sound like them and try to match with them, which of course kind of stinks because the voice you hear inside of your head of what you sound like, I think for everybody's a little bit deeper than what everybody else actually hears, which you got to admit, those really baritone dudes with the deep voices, oh my gosh, what they hear inside their head must be so freaking deep. But so yeah, like I know my singing voices don't sound quite as good, but what I've tried to do is take some of my singing voices, because even now today, a lot of times when I hear a song, and if you tell too, I'm a very animated person. I had speech team for a lot of years too in high school. But reeling it back in, I'm also very sporadic like Sean Schimmel. But reeling it back in, so what I do a lot of times when I hear a song is I kind of just basically try to match my singing voice with whatever's going on with that. So like, I can sing with a bit of a country twang when I need to. I actually I think I kind of do a better job singing to guys parts, because like I was a teeny bopper back in the day. Same time, I also love Linkin Park, which I hate that I mentioned that today because it's the 1 year that we lost Chester and it's been like meh all day. But yeah, I grew up, Linkin Park when they came out, Metallica, so I like rock. I grew up on country because I'm from the country. I listen to Backstreet Boys, Aqua. One of my favorite artists now is Pink. I love Goo Goo Dolls. So yeah, kind of a little bit of everything for songs. But I've been trying to do is take those singing voices and actually start learning how to talk in them and to bust out that voice at any time without the song having to play on the radio. So hopefully that's something kind of good. But so yeah, there was that, and it's just there was that part for Sean's Schimmel's. It sounds weird just calling him Sean. Like I don't know him personally. I kind of feel like I do now, but like we've never met in person, so therefore I don't know him personally. But like just kind of the background that he had too, like it sounds like he maybe also grew up loving cartoons and still watching cartoons. Like I don't have cable anymore, but when I did, like, or when I house sit for one of my coworkers, which usually happens a few times a year, pretty much, yeah, I watch Cartoon Network. I'll watch cartoons on Comedy Central. When my dad still had cable and I'd go out there to do laundry and usually stayed overnight. When he still had cable, I'd watch like the Nicktoons stuff that was on later at night. Like cartoons are my choice to watch. Most of my favorite movies are animated. Like I've been fascinated with animation probably since the first time I ever saw it. Like I've researched it on my own. I actually wanted to go into it out of high school. Like I actually wanted to become a screenplay writer, but I also loved animation, so I figured I could study that. And I feel so stupid because it's actually been more recently that I realized that you can go into animation and not be an animator because I'm not the best artist. And also too, to go into animation, like you need to know a lot of math. Maybe it's gotten better over the years. I don't know. I mean, again, this is going on like almost 15 years ago, but I was trying to get into what ultimately ended up happening was I needed to take physics in high school. And I, especially back then, was not the best at science. So I had to get like approval, and I've never been super great at math. And so I needed approval from the guy who would be teaching the class to take physics and everything. And he denied it. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much it kind of summed down to it's like, you're not good enough to take this class. You're going to fail at this class. And therefore, you're going to fail at this as an attempted career and in college, and you should not do it. So I did not do it. And as I started saying before, I just basically, and this is something too that it came up in Sean's interview. It's been coming up for other things with geekdom lately. It's been coming up in a lot of different stuff, like friends posting on Facebook, people on Twitter, stuff with, geekdom stuff. It just seems to be like everywhere all of a sudden about like the ridiculousness of following social norms, of doing what you're supposed to do. And yeah, it's like, it's really crazy because again, I'm 32, I'm single, never been married, never had kids, no kids. I feel like never had kids sounds weird. Being like, I don't have kids. They like never magically went away or were kidnapped by gypsies or anything. They've never, I have not birthed babies. I work part-time at a craft store. Like I am not living, it was just actually interesting because a lot of my friends I know are in the same stage of life that I am in. But at the same time, like, most of my graduating class, all 35-ish of us, are married, kids. A lot of them have had their second, well, actually, a lot of them have had their second kid this year, or they're having their second kid yet this year. It's really weird. Like the last 5 years between our class reunions, like so many things have happened. Like I'm one of the very few girls in my class who are single and don't have kids. Actually, I'm one of the very few people in my class that don't have kids. And all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm fine with it. Like my mom, I mean, I can't talk about a guy. I can't even talk about a guy, let alone a guy friend. But like, I can't even say a guy's name around my mom without her being like, oh, how old is he? And 10,000 million questions. And it's like, dude. And it's funny too, because one time it's like, mom, this is my friend John, who is engaged to his baby mama. And I'm talking about his daughter. And he's like a weird brother. So no. Or sometimes too, I've even talked about like how much of a jerk some guy is. And then my mom will start asking me all those questions. I'm like, I'm telling you about how terrible of a person this person is. There's no way in hell I would ever date this person because they're a terrible person. So why are you asking? So it's just, like I pretty much thrown the social norms out the window. Like I said before too, it's like I've gone to college twice. I went to college for English, and then like so the recession hit. So that was kind of like this was a fun wasted degree. And then so after not being able to find a job for a few years, I went back for public health. And almost 5 years after getting that degree, I am still working part-time at a craft store because I can't find anything else, which is also partially why I'm totally cool with leaving the state and moving halfway across the country to find full-time employment. Because, dear God, I need full-time employment, and I am more than willing to move halfway across the country to have my dreams come true. Like I said, literally, it's just Funimation holding me back right now. If I had a job, I'd be like, wee! I'd be going. Like, seriously, if you give me like 2 weeks, I can get there. It will happen. But yeah, so kind of going back with Sean's video, it's like, yeah, it's kind of screw your social norms. I mean, plus too, this day and age, what even are the social norms anymore? I mean, my generation is at such a weird, we've always been a weird generation because like, when we were born, like my family, we didn't get cable until I was like in 4th, 5th grade. We didn't get, our first computer had DOS. My nieces don't even know what that is. I know my nieces. I don't even know if people in their early 20s know what DOS is. And I think about it, I really don't know. I should ask that. I work with a lot of early 20 somethings. Just a little scary. But yeah, so like, I mean, like I said, I'm one of the first in my family to get a 4-year degree. I'm the first and only one in my family to have 2, because I went from liberal arts to science. I took my first biology class at 25, guys. I was not doing it at the graduate level. No. But yeah, for where I'm from, I mean, half of my class never went away, never left home. Half of my class never went to college. If we had a factory in town, we would be like so many of those movies where like, you graduate from high school and you go to work at the factory or you go work here. but we don't have a factory. There's factories in Freeport though, so a lot of people work there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I'm one of the very few that got out and like nobody expected me to ever leave. So at least I got that going for me. But it seems like I'm decreasing my awesomeness of every class reunion that comes up. So I got a lot of work to do in the next year before year 15. So I don't look like a complete and utter failure. Like I hate that too, because like a lot of the times, like because you don't do what you're supposed to do because you're not in where you're supposed to be in life, you're made to feel like you're a failure and everything. And it's like, I'm 32 and I'm still figuring out my life. I had some major crap happen towards the middle and end of my 30s and had to or 30s. What the hell? I am not that old. The mid to end of my 20s. And like I had to completely just basically evaluate my life and figure out everything and what I really wanted. And there was a while that like literally, and it is still part of it too. And I just had a friend actually just say this online the other day, like her goal is just to survive right now. Like that's her goal. And that was mine for a while too. Like that was it. I mean, I almost ended up homeless last year. I've been driving, like I said, I've been driving my mom. I actually have not had a car of my own for almost 2 years. When my old car broke down, I was in the process of buying a car for my grandparents. They took it back without any rhyme or reason. Now I'm driving my mom's old car. I don't make enough a month right now to make car payments. But if Funimation hires me, I will totally put an awesome down payment on a car. That's part of the finance that's coming along with the move. Basically, I don't make enough right now to make car payments, but with a full-time job, I can make car payments. So that could still happen too. That's no reason to not hire me. Dude, there's Uber. I can walk. I mean, I'd walk to Texas if Funimation hired me. I'd walk there if I had to. It would happen. I don't care. But yeah, like the whole social norm thing, I just thought it was really interesting because kind of like I started saying before, I mean, there's a lot of people I know who are in the same state of life as me. They're just doing whatever they can do to get by right now. And yeah, like I'm actually glad I don't have kids to worry about because there's no way in hell I could afford taking care of them. Besides, I have freedom and all that cool, awesome stuff. There's perks to not having kids, believe me. It's pretty cool. Not saying that I'm not like against having kids or anything. That's still like debatable, but yeah, so I mean, look at it. Sean Schimmel became the voice of one of the most famous, definitely anime characters, probably of all time. I mean, Dragon Ball has been running for 32 years. We haven't quite hit the 30-year mark in the United States yet, but we're getting really, really, really close. Actually, is it? I think it's next year. I think it's 89 when it came to the States. But I mean, the series has been going on for either way about 3 decades, no matter how you want to look at it. And he has been voicing the like lead character of the entire series for like 20 years now. I mean, and right out of the gate for voicing characters, I mean, that's just like, so just like, if he can do this, who says I can't do this? I mean, like I said, I got a lot of the same background as him. I got the musical background, which means singing and playing. So I know tones and pitches and all that stuff. I actually will voice along. Like every year when I watch the animated Grinch Stole Christmas, because the live action one, I like the animated a lot more. I can pretty much quote that word for word, and I will kind of do the voices and stuff like that too. I've impressed people with how well I can match up with a lot of the movies and series and stuff that I like. My mom, not too long ago, in the last couple of months, I was some work was getting done on my mom's blazer, and I was at their place while we were waiting for it to get done. And my mom came home from work, and The Lion King was on. She's trying to talk. She comes into the room and she's trying to talk to me, and I'm like walking across the room with her, being like, "Be prepared," completely. That's not my actual singing voice. Like totally quoting the song and singing along with it and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm like, I'm watching The Lion King, because it's still one of my all-time favorite movies. So yeah, like I do a lot of that weird, silly, goofy stuff. And it's really cool to know that, somebody who is not quite 20 years older than me still does these things and made a career out of these things. And it was just so really cool and awesome and inspiring. And I loved it. And it's like, screw you, social norms. I can do this too. it totally rejuvenated my spirit and my drive and everything to go for the dream. Because I mean, granted, I have like 4 applications, at least 4 I think 4. Yeah, I think 4 applications in with Funimation. And one of them is I feel way more stronger about for the job than the other ones. I mean, pretty much if it's a job that I like have half a chance at maybe getting, I'm applying because I want to work there. Like I want to work there. I need to work there. Like this is a passion burning inside of me to work for this company. Um, like I said, even if it's scrubbing toilets, I will take it because it's in the door to start somewhere. If I gotta prove myself, I will prove myself if it starts with scrubbing toilets. But yeah, it's just like if he can do all this stuff, who says I can't either? So it was just really cool and really awesome, and I loved it. And this video is going a lot longer than I wanted it to. But yeah, so um, like I said, just I'm hardworking, I am driven, I am passionate, I write, I can talk a lot. um, I write, I edit. I critique movies and things a lot myself when I watch them. Oh, I studied film too. I forgot about that. While I was getting my comms degree, I took a bunch of film classes. I actually did do a year of graduate school until I kind of realized it was kind of a waste because I was going to graduate school to become a teacher to teach other people to go to graduate school. Like I realized that isn't really what I wanted to do. And I was spending a lot of money on something I didn't want to do. But yeah, like I did lit and film for that. I did several film classes in high school, at community college, and college. So I've studied that a whole lot. I've studied animation on my own time multiple times. I've done a lot of reports and things where I had to research stuff. And it's just like I said, it fascinates me. So like I watch those documentary things that used to come on with Pixar movies. I've watched those. Like I know what they all did to make the blood in Finding Nemo look really realistic in the shark scene. I know how they did that. I really like animation. I'm a nerd. Again, I didn't plan this today. So I got the musical background. I have a decent amount of an animation background. I know anime. I write, I edit, I do goofy voices, goofy sound effects. I can learn to do more goofy voices. I would love to be trained in how to do it. I'm just poor. I bought like 2 bags of ramen tonight, not just because I like ramen, but because it was on sale and I like the idea that I can have a meal for 35 cents because I am poor. Yeah, I miss real food. I really do. It's wonderful. I got home and somebody was making hamburgers, and the other night I could smell tuna noodle casserole from another apartment. Oh my god, I wanted it so bad. But yeah, recapping: English background, journalism background, editing background, somewhat of an art background. I've studied it. I'm not that great at it, but I've studied it. Music background, playing and singing, so vocalizing stuff. Social media, I do YouTube. I have a Facebook page, Just Saying, at facebook.com/justsaying4716. I also have other Facebook pages, but I really don't run them a whole lot anymore. I'd say it's probably that and Planet of the Nerds, which I have no idea what that page is because I've never made it like official address thing. I have Twitter. I actually have a pretty good Twitter following. I think for only being on there for a month. I'm being followed by Geekdom and Toonami squads. I think that's pretty awesome. I'm crafty. I make a lot of stuff. I make candy. That's pretty awesome. What else? I don't know. They should just hire me because I'm freaking awesome. I'm pretty self-confident about this. I'm nice. I'm friendly. I'm polite. I get that all the time from customers. I would love to travel. I'm not gonna lie. Airplanes kind of frighten me a little bit. The idea of going overseas kind of does, but in general, I would like to travel. Like, I mean, seriously, I think this would be like the coolest job ever. Would be to sit down, be part of some of the coolest animes in the like planet. Whether it's writing the script or editing things or what. Go into the sound booth and yell and scream at stuff and whatnot for several hours a day. And then on your weekends, you travel around to all these different conventions and basically you talk about what you do and your character. Like, that is so freaking awesome. Like, Oh my God, that would be like the coolest thing ever to do. Or even to be like a social media person who's documenting the stuff and posting it. Like, I mean, this is pretty much what I do with my everyday life anyway, since I have this wonderful thing. So, oh, it is almost 11 o'clock. So yeah, like that would be like the coolest thing ever to do. And I mean, I would love it. I would love, like, it would make my life so perfect and so awesome. And I mean, the only thing that's not freaking awesome about my life right now is basically anything connected to my financial situation, because I work part-time at a craft store and I haven't seen more than 20 hours. 20 hours a week is actually a rarity, and it's been a rarity for the last 2 years. So yeah, I need money. So I mean, yeah, if being able to work a full-time job that it provides me to provide for myself, that allows me to provide for myself. I write a lot better than I speak, thank goodness. But to have a full-time job that would allow me to completely provide for myself and pay for everything and all that cool stuff that I would love to do and have fun with and all that great stuff, because that's always super important too, is to have a job that you like. Love is even better, but at least like. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, it would be really cool to not exactly shove it in everybody's face, but I have two nieces. They're 10 and 7. And I would love to show them that through hard work and determination, your dreams can come true. And by being yourself, your dreams can come true. That you never need to change for anyone, that you don't need to follow societal norms. You can be you, and through hard work and determination, you can do whatever the heck you want to do as long as it's legal. I would love to be able to show that to them, to be that example for them. I would love it. And then, to be able to have them come and like stay with me in Texas a few weeks a year and stuff like that. That would be so great. And of course, to kind of be like, hey, everybody who thought I was weird and nerdy and could never do anything, look, I did. But mostly being the awesome example for my nieces. That would be, and any kids out there in the world. I actually do have quite a lot of little kids that I know out there. So it'd be really, really cool to be that example for them. So anyways, I hope that's everything I wanted to cover. I made this a good dang near 20 minutes longer than I meant to. I actually was hoping to go for under 30 minutes as well, but like Sean Schimmel, you get me started, I can talk. It's actually, I was kind of hoping people would tune into this one too, so I could see stuff people were posting and that. But so anyways, I hope you guys liked this. I'm going to drink a bunch of water, and I really wish I had ice cream. And probably watch some Dragon Ball and eventually go to bed. Yeah, I don't think I need to do anything else for tomorrow. I have to change the oil in my car tomorrow. Or fill the oil in my car tomorrow. The car that I'm driving. Yeah. I'm also very independent and self-sufficient. So anyways, yeah, I hope you liked this. Funimation, hire me, because I would be like the best employee you guys would ever have. Again, move is finance. I just have to get the job to do it. And then actually I get to meet a lot of my friends in Texas as well, because I've been making a lot of friends with people in Texas. And I would bring you guys goodies all the time. I bake, I make candy, I do chocolate covered, basically anything that you can cover in chocolate. I actually have a really couple of cool ideas for CommandCon next year. I made Dragon Ball cupcakes for my birthday, Dragon Ball and Capsule Corp, because Saiyana, Capsule Corp. Or I should say brief Capsule Corp, but yeah. So yeah, that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you got to not be completely like, oh my God, all she does is yammer. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop, and as always, sign off with my lovely peace. Do. Yes, I want to end the stream. I wonder if this is still recording.